limits of debate in this country are established before the debate even begins, and everyone else is marginalized or made to seem either to be communist or some sort of disloyal person, a kook, there's a word, and now it's conspiracy. See, they've made that something that should not be even entertained for a minute, that powerful people might get together and have a plan. Doesn't happen. You're a kook. You're a conspiracy buff.
Hey everyone. This happened yesterday, I think. All the description stuff that you need to look at, or if you want to look at yourself, is in the description box. I think I'll just kind of give a quick update as far as the Unity for J digital movement. As you can see, I'm refreshing. There's now 2,380 members, 398 online. There are some very, very awesome people in there, very capable people. Hey, Harold. It's going to be exciting to see them at work, and I'll do what I can to help out when I can. Now, on to the main thing. So, SGTreport. If you go to their site, they're now on their backup channel. They got YouTube took them down, and same thing with Illuminati Watcher. If you go there on his website, you can see that he had a couple of a lot of stuff. You guys know I've replayed some of the Illuminati Watcher's material before and talked about it. Hi, Kathy. So I'm just gonna go over, read it, show you guys the video that they put up, and that's it. I just would like people out there to know that YouTube is again purging YouTube channels, and it's bad. I think it's great though, because I like to restream to YouTube, Periscope, and DLive, and eventually I might find others to keep restreaming to, although I don't use restream.io. Just a free version, don't have any. I gotta hold on to whatever funds I can to last me a little bit more, because I am working on some stuff. And let's see. So here we go. I'm going to read about SGTreport first. Their article on July 23rd, 2018. The best way to silence dissent is to terminate it. Hashtag YouTube Big Brother. They have the YouTube video embedded in. It'll say, if you're watching this video, you have found my backup channel. My main YouTube channel was terminated today without cause or explanation. And along with it, more than 1,000 videos and interviews were deleted from the pages of history, along with 345,000 subscribers and 8 years of work. This overt fascism against the people, against the Constitution and the Bill of Rights cannot stand. Please tweet a message saying just that to @TeamYouTube. Harley Sclanger joined me this morning to discuss my channel's termination pretty much as it happened. Thanks for tuning in, thanks for standing with me, and thanks for continued prayers and support. God bless. Before we start, I would just want to go ahead and search it for you guys. SGTreport. You won't see it. You'll see SGTreport 2.
We're living in a moment where we are seeing people adopting what used to be denounced as fascist policies, the shutting down of free speech, the destruction of opposition voices, and the people who are doing it are arguing that the president is a supporter of fascism. It is Orwellian. I think it'd be very useful for people to go back and read 1984 to get a sense of how the attack on truth is so important to our enemies You know, they say truth is the first casualty of warfare, and I think we're seeing that happen now.
Hey friends, I wish I had something noteworthy to share with you today, but it's been a really slow day, not much news to report. Oh yeah, my YouTube channel was terminated for absolutely no reason. Hey, so here's the thing. I've gone through a gamut of emotions today, starting with denial and then moving towards anger and then pretty soon acceptance. Actually, I'm not accepting this at all, and I'm going to fight to get my YouTube channel reinstated. I'm going to fight for truth, I'm going to fight for justice, and I'm going to fight to end this tyranny and fascism. And if I need to file a federal lawsuit against YouTube, essentially for defamation, then that's what I'll do, because they're defaming my good name by deleting my YouTube channel, which suggests that I'm one of these people that has a reckless disregard for their community guidelines when I've never violated even one of their vague community guidelines. So here's an update. I was scheduled this morning to talk to Harley Schlanger and Roger Stone. I logged on to make contact with Harley. It was at that moment I tried to load my YouTube channel. So I'll play that interview with Harley for you, and you can kind of hear how this all unfolded in real time for me this morning as I realized what had happened to my YouTube channel. But what I want to do here before I play that for you, and by the way, Roger Stone did not pick up. He was unable to join us today. But before I play that for you, I just want to thank everyone. I've had an absolute outpouring of support, and it just means so much to me to know that I'm not standing alone against these winds of tyranny. So thank you all so very, very much. Anyway, I just want you to know that I wrote about what happened to me today specifically. It's pinned at the top of SGTreport.com, and it's called YouTube is Even Worse Than Big Brother. They delete history altogether. And what I want to do here real quickly is just read a paragraph or two from the end of this and thank so many of those people, names you'll recognize, who reached out to me today, and it just really fills me with a lot of hope, and I really appreciate it. Some of those people are, of course, Harley Schlanger, Mike Adams, Chris Dwayne, Aaron and Melissa Dykes over there at TrueStream Media, Robert David Steele, John Robertson and the Hagmans over at the Hagman Report, Jordan Sather via Twitter, V the Guerrilla Economist, Frank from the Quite Frankly podcast, our friend Aaron T. Scott, who made a very nice video about the termination of my channel. She pretty much had that video up before I even knew what had happened. Bill Holter, Carrie Lutz, Sarah Westall, Gans Shimura, Tracy Beans, Bix Weir, Will Lair, and of course my good friend and SGT Report daily contributor, Matthew. So thank you, each and every one of you. I also want to thank so many of you who reached out to me specifically via Twitter, via my email account, via comments on SGT Report. And lastly, thank you to my patrons who support me over at Patreon. Hopefully I'll get my main channel reinstated, but you can find me on Real.video, Mike Adams' site. You can find me on BitChute, and of course you can find me here on this backup YouTube channel, SGT Report 2. So thank you very much for subscribing, and thank you so very much for standing with me. Here's how it played out in real time this morning with Harley. This account has been terminated for violating YouTube's community guidelines. Do you effing believe that?
God.
They're so evil.
Yeah, the question is whose community?
Yeah, and their guidelines are extremely vague. I should call up that YouTube. I saved those. Let's see if I can find an old one from my first 2 strikes. Hey friends, thanks so much for tuning in. To those of you who are concerned that my YouTube channel has been terminated by YouTube for violating YouTube's community guidelines, you're right. The funny part is I didn't know about this. It happened while I slept overnight. That's the way they do it. The same thing happened to High Impact Flix's channel, except he got his 3 strikes overnight while he slept. And by the way, that was a good channel, a very pro-Second Amendment channel. The same thing happened to Jordan Sather. Now, Jordan Sather did get his channel back after about a month or 2, so maybe there's hope for my channel, but the bottom line is my account on YouTube with over 344,000 subscribers has been terminated for violating YouTube's community guidelines. I have Harley Schlanger on the phone right now to help me process this. I'm really quite shocked at the moment. Harley, welcome.
Hi, Sean.
Thanks for coming on, Harley. Now, guys, Harley and Roger Stone were supposed to be joining us this morning. Roger Stone has not connected with us for whatever reason, so we've missed Roger on this call. And I said to Harley, literally, Harley, I found out about this 5 minutes before, not even, 2 minutes before I called you, didn't I? And I was shocked.
Yeah. Well, I know, Sean, you had told me that they had 2 strikes on you for some vague reason. And these are not really vague reasons. You're gaining support. There's a whole community out there that's hungry for news, and it's growing by leaps and bounds, and you see it in the number of views you've had on YouTube. So I think this is part of the whole deep state operation to try and shut down alternative voices, because all they want you to think is Trump is a Russian agent, and anyone who supports Trump is suspect of being a Russian agent. And we're living in very difficult times, and people are going to have to figure out how to communicate as creatively as possible.
Well, guys, you can find me. I have a SGT Report backup channel, and I guess if you're listening to this interview, you know that, because how in the world else am I going to get this information out to people? I'm on BitChute. I'm over on Steemit. I'm on Mike Adams' new platform, Real.video. The bottom line here, Harley, is that it's real clear now that it's happening on Twitter, it's happening on Facebook, it's happening to people on YouTube, and the best way for our enemies to silence dissent is to terminate it.
Roger Stone had his Twitter account shut down, and he was given no explanation. This was about 4 months ago, I think, when Mueller started targeting Roger.
Well, and I wanted to ask Roger about that. It's a shame he wasn't able to join us. I can get your thoughts on it here in a second, but let's just stay on this YouTube censorship, this Stasi squad on YouTube that is terminating channels. My last interview was with Robert David Steele, and listen to this. This is YouTube's community guidelines. This is why you get strikes. Now, by the way, my first strike was for an interview I did with Christopher Bolin, the author and researcher, and that interview was about 9/11 and what really happened that day. The other strike I got, I believe it was for a video called The Unbelievable Horrible Truth, or The Horrible Truth, which was about, in part, YouTube's censorship. And then it was primarily about the Second Amendment, and it was about our rights to stand up for ourselves in the Bill of Rights. So those are the two reasons. Those were my first two strikes. Listen to the video content restrictions as YouTube lays them out in their community guidelines. And you tell me, Harley, if this sounds like the type of videos I make. I'll quote, YouTube doesn't allow content that encourages or promotes violent or dangerous acts that have an inherent risk of serious physical harm or death. For example, it's not okay to post videos showing drug abuse, underage drinking and smoking, or bomb making. The only depictions of such activities that we may allow need to be educational or documentary in nature and shouldn't be designed to help or encourage others to imitate them. The impact of strikes. This is the second strike applied to your account within 3 months. Now, this is, of course, guys, this is the one I got for that second video that they... You see, here's the thing, Harley. They don't explain to you why you got a strike. They don't give you a time code that says, hey, if you go back to your original video, which we've now deleted, here's where you violated our community guidelines. They don't do that. As it pertains to my third strike here today that happened while I slept and they terminated my channel, I have not gotten an official notice in my email from YouTube at all. The channel's just gone. Now, does that sound like we have freedom of speech in this country? I think it's unlawful. Does it sound like we have free speech in this country to you?
Well, no, this is censorship, but you can see how they think. They think that you provoking people to think is a danger to them. And that's really the way this thing works. If you look at just something that's happened in the last days, the reaction to the Trump-Putin summit, there's almost no discussion of why it's important for the U.S. and Russia to be talking. No discussion about arms control. No discussion about fighting terrorism. It's all about Putin's a thug, Trump's a Putin puppet, and that's a form of censorship. Now, what you did in interviews with me and with others is you brought out what's the context in which this is happening. Why is this happening? What are they afraid of? And we see what they're afraid of. They're afraid of people finding out the truth. And I think that's probably the reason that you got hit with a third strike.
Well, and here's the other problem. And I'll read you this last paragraph here in their community guidelines outline here so that people understand why you got a strike from the Stasi squad. And I'll quote, "We understand that users seldom intend to violate our policies. That's why strikes don't last forever. This strike will expire in 3 months. However, it's important to understand that if you receive 3 strikes within 3 months, we'll terminate your account, rendering it permanently inaccessible, end quote. So, Harley, it stands to reason I had 2 strikes, the first of which was going to fall off sometime in mid-August, the second of which would have fallen off about a week later, and then my account would have been clean again. So they had to give me this 3rd strike while they still could, and that's why my channel's gone.
So that means no one can find any of your past interviews on YouTube.
All of my work since 2010, over 1,000 videos and interviews, gone like it never even existed. So this is very much like Orwell's 1984. Not only will they censor truth and speech, they'll just erase history.
Yeah. You know, I just wrote an article where I described the reaction of the media, the screaming against Trump, to something also from Orwell's 1984. You remember the scenes about the 2-minute hate, where they have on a big screen people lying about the enemies of the state, and the audience is supposed to stand up and cheer and get whipped into a frenzy? A lot of this is right out of Orwell's playbook.
Well, that's right, and it's not going to get any better. It's going to get worse before it gets better, unless the government itself steps in somehow and can regulate YouTube as some sort of public utility, right? And well, there's already been congressional hearings about this, the Diamond and Silk hearings. I mean, there's been hearings about the censorship of conservative speech, but these big social media companies, YouTube included, don't seem to care, and they don't seem to learn at all from even the outrage that happens when they terminate channels like mine. And it's very much a David versus Goliath situation, me being David, them being Goliath, because when they delete my platform, I have no voice. So that's what we're up against, Harley. And you know what? The bottom line is, I had 344,000 subscribers because I had truth on my side. You don't build a channel over time that grows into something with that many subscribers if you are a liar telling falsehoods all day, or if your information does not resonate with the public. So the best way to silence dissent is to terminate it.
Yeah, and I think you see the other problem is that the Congress hasn't been willing to fight this, because for most of the people in the Congress, they have access to channels, and the people who are speaking truth, like Rand Paul, find themselves under withering attack. So they're really... It's a bullying that's going on to silence anybody who is outside of the mainstream. In fact, to demonize people who don't go along with the main talking points of the mainstream media. And Sean, you pointed this out many years ago with this whole Operation Mockingbird. This was a strategy adopted by the so-called deep state quite a while ago. Look, in Britain, they have this classification process where they can order media not to cover an issue. So I think we're heading into very difficult and dark times, and people are going to really have to scramble to find a way to reach out. And I know you're doing that, and I think you should just give as often as possible a sense to people of where they can go to find your work.
Well, let's just do this in real time because honestly, I'm just shell-shocked. So I am going to tweet this out. I found out about my YouTube channel being taken down now exactly 30 minutes ago. Harley joined me here at the top of the hour. Roger Stone was supposed to hop on the line with us too, but we've missed him for some reason. So let me tweet this out in real time while you're on the phone here, Harley. My YouTube channel has been terminated. 3rd strike for no good reason. Censorship, hashtag Big Brother. Please tweet to @TeamYouTube and demand that this injustice be immediately corrected by restoring my channel. @Mike Adams, Liz Crokin, Jordan Sather, Paul Joseph Watson, Paul Craig Roberts. Man, I wish there was more character room here for me, Harley. I'd like to tweet this out to everybody I know, but Twitter restricts you to just a certain number of characters. So let me send this out. I'm going to include a picture here of my deleted channel, and then we'll get back here on track. Boy, I'll tell you, Harley, truth is a lonely warrior, as my friend author James Perloff has said and wrote a book called just that. Truth really is a lonely warrior, isn't it?
You know, Sean, there's an old Yiddish proverb, the truth never dies, but it often lives a miserable life.
Got that right. I wonder how many people listening have gone through hell, as I have, and as many of us have in our own ways. Look, there's a lot going on. that I don't talk about or make public. And I try not to whine or, say I'm the focus of any sort of malfeasance or nefarious activities, Harley. I try hard just to get out there and have good conversations with good people like you, but it has been difficult. It's been really hard. And, many of us who speak truth are under attack. And I think that this is a very tangible example of that. We are absolutely under attack because if they can cripple us financially, they can shut us up. If they can cripple us in the public square by taking away our voice and terminating our channel and crippling us financially, then they win. But see, that's what they're left with, right? Is dirty tricks. They can't play fairly because they cannot win this conversation. They can't win this war of ideas when truth is allowed to be spoken.
Losing.
They're losing.
They are losing. They are losing, and their system's breaking down, and that's what they're afraid of. But keep in mind, I know this from the inside from what was done to my organization, the LaRouche organization, in the 1980s, and the point person in the original persecution of Lyndon LaRouche was none other than Robert S. Mueller, who handled the Get LaRouche task force in the initial case in Boston in 1986-87. So, LaRouche spent 5 years in prison. Some of my associates spent 7-8 years in prison for charges such as illegally taking loans, which they didn't pay back, and they couldn't pay them back because the company was shut down in a bankruptcy proceeding by the government. They took over our companies and stopped paying back loans and then said we had a conspiracy to not pay back loans. So you're absolutely right. These are people who have been conducting these kinds of policies for a long time, and in the modern age, the social media outflanked them a little bit. Trump is using Twitter to outflank them. And now they're coming back with a blanket censorship policy. And I think that's what hit you today.
All right. Well, why don't we round out the conversation here with talking a little bit about the madness that is best exemplified by the FBI raid on Trump's lawyer's office. And now we have CNN reporting on hush money for yet another mistress and Trump's lawyer turning on him. The most important thing is attorney-client privilege. And you'll notice that the FBI was happy to raid Trump's lawyer's office. Meanwhile, we see no FBI raid at the DNC to seize the server, which would prove or disprove the official narrative of Russian hacking. And we see no FBI raid on the Clinton Foundation to seize all of their documents, which would prove bribery, while Hillary was Secretary of State, and worse, probably treason. This double standard that we're living through is very, very, very painful, Harley, to any thinking person who actually cares about justice.
By the way, Sean, you think those Clinton Foundation documents still exist somewhere? I'm rather skeptical about that.
Yeah, they've had plenty of time to just cleanse everything, haven't they?
Yeah, and it's worse than a double standard. We're living in a moment where we are seeing people adopting what used to be denounced as fascist policies, the shutting down of free speech, the destruction of opposition voices, and the people who are doing it are arguing that the president is a supporter of fascism. So it is Orwellian, and I think it'd be very useful for people to go back and read 1984 to get a sense of how the attack on truth is so important to our enemies. They say truth is the first casualty of warfare, and I think we're seeing that happen now.
Well, we certainly are, and I'm really glad that you're able to still join the call here with me today. It's a momentous day. I honestly, I had no idea when I was getting ready this morning to call you that they had terminated my channel, and I opened YouTube and it said log in. I'm just in shock, Harley. I'm just in shock. I shouldn't be. I saw this coming. I knew it was coming. When they give you 2 strikes, I mean, I guess the best strategy is just to shut up for 3 months, right?
Well, that's what they'd like to do, and you didn't do it. You kept going because in your view and in the view of 344,000 subscribers, you were telling things that were true and that needed to be said. So this is not just an attack on you. It's an attack on all those people who have turned to you to have an access point to truth.
Well, you know what's funny? The other problem is, Harley, I don't know which video got that 3rd strike. And so as it pertains to just shutting up for 3 months, that didn't make sense to me either, because that Christopher Bolin 9/11 interview that I did, that had been up for a couple of months. So they went retroactively. Somebody flagged it, and then YouTube gave it a strike. It had already been up for two and a half months, and it had over 100,000 views. So they can retroactively give you a strike for anything. And in this case, I have no idea what the third strike was for. They haven't sent me an email. They haven't said it was for this video, much less whatever speech it was that offended them so badly. So this very much is the very epitome of Orwell's 1984, where Big Brother not only controls the narrative, they control the history by deleting it, by altering and or deleting it. It's the absolute epitome of fascism. Harley, tell people how they can find you online, will you please?
Well, I'm available at harleysch@gmail. And as I've been doing, I've been sending people access to my weekly articles. They can sign in at the site for my weekly articles. And Sean, I'll get out something also, see if I can get LaRouche Pack to put something up on this atrocious attack on you.
Well, I'm humbled, and I really appreciate that, Harley. Thank you very much, and thank you for your voice and friendship over the years. And this won't be the end of my story, hopefully. I'll continue to upload videos here on my backup channel, and Harley and I will certainly have further conversations into the future. And maybe next time we'll be able to get Roger Stone on as well. Harley, thank you so much for your time.
Okay, Sean, and you should know my friendship and support for you won't change either because of this.
All right. Thanks, buddy. Appreciate it. God bless. And guys, for those of you who have found this interview here on my backup channel, thank you so much. Please subscribe, and please spread this information within your own sphere of social influence. And please, if you're on Twitter, contact @TeamYouTube and ask them for an explanation. I think at the end of the day, Harley, we deserve an explanation at the very least. If they're just going to terminate truth, if they're going to terminate speech, aren't we at least due an explanation?
Sure, even though it will be a lie.
That's right. All right, guys. For real news 24/7, you can still find us at sgtreport.com. And I do appreciate your support on Patreon as well. God bless to all of you. Thanks so much. Bye-bye.
But I think this is all part of the plan to destroy America and really trying to create the globalist one world government.
So, yeah, that happened. That sucks. I didn't really watch SGT Report too much. I did watch a couple episodes every now and then. Mostly, I would find topics and they would come up and I would go ahead and watch it. Pretty conservative. That's okay. Freedom first. That's my motto as well. And I'm independent. I'm not left, I'm not right. And if you're still in the left-right paradigm, you are divided and you are conquered. Here we go. Let's go to Illuminati Watcher. I'll go ahead and read first. So he says, YouTube deleted my channel while Google and YouTube hate conspiracy theories on the CTAUC podcast. Posted by Isaac Weissap on July 20th, 2018. On today's episode of the Conspiracy Theories and Unpopular Culture podcast, we listened to me cry the YouTube blues. My illuminatiwatcher1 YouTube channel was shut down, and I'm not certain why. They don't explain these things to you. It's just like they change the locks on you one day. Listen to the different reasons why I believe this happened to me and how it's going to get worse. Learn more about YouTube, Google, and the oligarchy that's destroying free speech. And he goes, the first show is free for all with the gratitude going to the Patreon supporters. Special thanks to everyone who's been sending the kind words of support and encouragement on the social medias. And so here we go.
Hi, it's Jamie, Progressive's Employee of the Month, 2 months in a row. Leave a message at the... Hi, Jamie. It's me, Jamie. I just had a new idea.
That doesn't sound like it. Where'd it go? Here we go. And maybe it was it. This has commercials.
Hi, it's Jamie. Fit your budget. There.
Hi, everybody. This is Isaac, and I'm... Okay, that was it. Alright, sorry about that.
Our song about the name your
I usually watch it on YouTube, that's why.
Like tell us what you want to pay, hey, 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 and the trombone goes, blah, 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 and you say, we'll help you find coverage options to fit your budget. Then we just all do finger snaps while a choir goes, savings coming at ya, savings coming at ya. Yes? No? Maybe? Anyway, see you practice tonight. I got new lyrics for the rap break.
Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Price and coverage match limited by state law.
Hi, everybody. This is Isaac, and I'm really sad today. Well, we had a good run, folks. It's all over now. Yep, YouTube and Google have successfully destroyed my channel. My YouTube channel, illuminatiwatcher1, no longer exists. This isn't a wrestling stunt either, folks. I'm not gonna come out of this retirement and make a comeback on YouTube, because it's very clear they don't want me on there. I'm gonna figure something out, though. I don't know what. Maybe nothing. I don't know. We'll see. Now, what's today's show about? It's going to be probably 15-20 minutes of me crying about the YouTube blues, because, as you may or may not have heard, they shut my channel down. If you go to YouTube, to the illuminatiwatcher1 channel, the channel that had over 10 million views, 200 videos, almost 80,000 subscribers. It's gone. It's all gone. Banished. Okay, that's enough. That's enough dramatics, right? I've been watching too much wrestling, maybe. No, but seriously, let's talk about this. I thought this would be, this is one of the last avenues I have to get in touch with you, my listeners, my like-minded people that know something is amiss about society and our culture. This podcast is sort of, I said it was the way forward about a year ago when I started the Patreon. Patreon.com/illuminatiwatcher. Sign up now. You get a free copy of The Dark Path. Shameless plugs. There's going to be more shameless plugs than that, because YouTube and Google are picking on me. But yeah, I said this about a year ago. I said the podcast is going to be the way forward, and this just sort of cements it further. What had happened, and I'm going to tell you on today's little mini show, little exclusive. I'm going to tell you exactly what happened. I'm not going to hide anything from you. I don't know what else they can do to me. They already removed the channel, so I'm going to tell you everything they said to me. I'm going to read the emails. In fact, I had a chat on here on my computer because I was so appalled because they were screwing with me a while back, and I saved the transcript, and I'm going to read it to you. Now I realize, so I'm going to start out. I'm going to give you the nuts and bolts first, and then if you really want to hang on and listen to the dirty details, that'll be at the end of the show, because I know half of you are probably just like, dude, just tell me why the channel's not there. Because I've been getting tons of messages all day long, which makes me feel pretty good. Thanks for letting me know you care. Because I've been getting people sliding in the DMs, people hitting me on the tweeters, Facebook, Instagram, telling me, "Hey, where's the channel? What happened to the channel? Why is it offline?" Well, here's what happened. First off, Google and YouTube are petty little bitches. And what happened was, if you were, and I'm gonna go back, I'm gonna tell you the exact thing that happened was I uploaded a video about Ariana Grande, and the next thing I know, I wake up and it says my channel's been shut down completely. And I log in, and sure enough, no videos, no nothing, no subscribers, nothing, all gone. And let me pull the email. The email that they sent me, it's like breaking up with somebody on a text message. It was just cold-blooded. After all we've been through, I've had this YouTube channel for many years now. Here's what happened. July 18th, 19 hours ago,
it was close to midnight. I was hunkered down in my little bed, dreaming about the Illuminati. And I got this email. It says, "Hi, illuminatiwatcher1. As you know, our community guidelines describe which content we allow and don't allow on YouTube. Your video, Ariana Grande, Illuminati symbolism of the occult, witchcraft, Kabbalah, sex, kittens, and demons, was flagged for review. Upon review, we determined it violates our guidelines. We've removed it from YouTube and assigned a community guideline strike or temporary penalty to your account." Blah, blah, blah. It goes on and on. Okay. So that was the first email. Then, about wait a minute. I should have thought this through. Okay, here we go. Then, 1 minute later, I get another email. "We'd like to inform you that due to repeated or severe violations of our community guidelines," which you can read on youtube.com/t/community_guidelines, "your YouTube account has been suspended. We are constantly working to keep YouTube free of spam. It's not okay to post large amounts of untargeted, unwanted, or repetitive videos. In addition, if the main purpose of your content is to drive people off of YouTube and onto another site, it will likely violate our spam policies. Blase, blase, blah." Okay. So I wake up. I say, what in the hell? So I appeal. I send the appeal and say, I don't violate any of these guidelines, any of these policies. And by the way, this is a byproduct of snowflake culture, because it could be not necessarily YouTube that took me down, but somebody who didn't like what I was saying. One of Ariana Grande's bitch ass fans or stans. I was making fun of them because the video I uploaded was actually the podcast from last week, or a few days ago, I should say, where I was talking about Ariana Grande, and these millennial snowflakes were just melting like sugar in the rain. Maybe they couldn't take it. Mind you, I'm barely a Gen Xer. I'm almost a millennial, but I am a Gen Xer. Damn it. But the YouTube community guidelines, I've gotten strikes in the past, so I feel like it's more YouTube than it is snowflakes. But the YouTube guidelines talk about, here's the things they don't allow: nudity or sexual content. That wasn't on there. Mind you, this video was it was a single image of like my teaser image for the show. And then it was just me talking. Okay. So there wasn't like repeated images or video or nothing like that. It was just me talking. Very dangerous and controversial, I know. So no nudity. So that didn't violate that. Hateful content says we don't support content that promotes or condones violence against individuals or groups based on race, ethnic origin, religion, disability, gender, age, nationality, veteran status, sexual orientation, gender identity, blah, 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 whose primary purpose is inciting hatred on the basis of these core characteristics. Okay, so I don't think it's that, because I've never called for any sort of hate upon these artists. In fact, I'm the first one to say that these people are victims to the big agenda. Harmful or dangerous content. They say that you shouldn't post videos that encourage others to do things that might cause them to get badly hurt, especially kids. Okay, so I guess you've never seen a harmful video on YouTube. So it definitely wasn't that. Another is violent or graphic content. Anything that's shocking, sensational, or gratuitous with graphic content. I don't think it was that. Harassment or cyberbullying, no. Spam, no. Threats, no. Copyright, no. Privacy, impersonation, child safety. So it's none of those things, right? Or so I believe it to be. So I file the appeal and say, no, I didn't violate your guidelines. And they say, we received your account appeal. And then within 2 hours, they say, thank you for your account suspension appeal. We have decided to keep your account suspended based on our community guidelines. Again, with the link to all that nonsense I just spoke about. Now, one might say, well, Isaac, why don't you fight with them a little bit? I already went down this path because, in the past, they shut me out of my channel once before because I did a video about Taylor Swift. And what happened was there was okay, so sorry, I'm all over the place. I'm just so flustered. Okay. About maybe 6 months ago, Taylor Swift had a new video. I don't remember which one. And I did a, Illuminati symbolism video about it, put it on there, and they immediately pulled it off YouTube. They immediately shut me out of my own account, and they made me take this like copyright training thing. And I was like, bro, I didn't take any copyright stuff. Like, I'm not taking her song in my video, But then I got another one back when, if you recall, I made a Back to the Future video analysis. It's the greatest video analysis of Back to the Future ever. It's really great. You're going to love it. It's really great. You got to watch it. And they dinged me on that one. And I took little clips from the film and I tried to claim fair use, which I know is kind of dicey sometimes, but I was like, look, I'm trying to make a point here, I'm trying to make it a good experience for you, the viewer. And I don't know how to pronounce this person's name, male or female. I don't know. It doesn't matter, right? Ches. I write Ches. And Ches writes, thank you for contacting YouTube support. You're chatting with Ches. And I'm not going to read the whole thing because it goes on and on. I said, hey, I got this copyright notice. This guy, someone claimed it was stealing their content, but really it was Back to the Future's content. Anyways, without sparing you a lot of crying and back and forth, they wouldn't help me. And what happened was there was this nobody rapper with like 5 views on this video, and he put a copyright claim against me, it turns out. Because he took a little audio clip from Back to the Future, put it on his dumb rap video, and then when I uploaded my video, he said that I'm violating his copyright. And I'm basically talking to Ches at YouTube, and I'm saying, bro, like, obviously, generic rapper Mr. Nobody there, he doesn't own the audio to Back to the Future. Why are you flagging my account for some, I would understand if Back to the Future, whoever owns that movie, would have filed a claim. That I could understand. I get that. But it wasn't them. It was this jackass. And we go back and forth on this, and I'm like, so you're telling me that this rapper owns the audio from the movie Back to the Future, and they keep giving me links to content guidelines and all this crap. And I said, this makes no sense. I said, I think that's the problem here. He gamed the YouTube system to make YouTube think he owns the audio clip. How do we fix that? Or does the rapper with 100 views actually own the rights to Back to the Future? And Ches writes, while we understand your concern, we appreciate that you only contact us about issues which pertain to your own account. I said, may I speak with someone at a higher level, like a supervisor? I feel like I'm just being told to read criteria with no real answers here. And then he gives me another runaround. I said, please patch me into a supervisor. And he says, he or she, I'm sorry, I am unable to do that at the moment. And then I write, YouTube is destroying creator rights on this thing by giving it to frauds. It's not fair to me or the actual owners to Back to the Future. Ches says, to be approved for content ID, user must yada, yada, yada. Okay. Sorry, this is seriously like a 6-page, 30-minute conversation I have with this person. This person keeps giving me a runaround. I said, let's escalate this thing. They won't do it. And that's essentially where it's at. That's where it ended. YouTube is not interested in helping me out. And I've got a whole separate email thread about when Taylor Swift thing happened to me, of why I'm getting like punished for this stuff. And to back this out a bit further, YouTube used to be a lot more friendly to voices such as mine. And they first started this by punishing the monetization efforts, the advertising on there. For the last maybe 2 years, I haven't been able to make money off of ads on the videos. So, anyways, But I was okay with that because it's not all about the money, right? It's about getting the message out. And I thought, okay, that's cool. You don't want to put ads on my videos. I get that. Obviously, the people with the advertisements maybe don't want to be affiliated with someone talking about how Taylor Swift's in the Illuminati. I get that. But I was fine with that because they let me keep the videos on. So it's not necessarily a violation of my free speech per se. I mean, they've got a business to run too. I get that. But it's actually much more nefarious and darker than that. Let me tell you why. It proves that there is indeed corporate control embedded in the society, in the system. This is what Bernie Sanders was talking about when he said there was an oligarchy. The oligarchy means the corporations and corporate America and the lobbyists have infiltrated the government and they're running the show. That's why Bernie didn't have a shot. If you recall all those like emails hacked and leaked about how the DNC purposely kicked him out of the race because they wanted Hillary in so freaking bad. And this is exactly what I just talked about on the recent episode where I went through part 1 of Century of the Self, that Kanye West, that he tweeted this documentary. By the way, I'm going to do part 2 here soon because there's a lot more to talk about with that. But it's basically talking about how corporate America has gotten into the minds and the control system in America. Because Google and YouTube, I mean, I don't have the right to say or do whatever I want on these things. They got a business to run. I get that. So they're not really violating the First Amendment, but in all reality, they've got a monopoly on the market. Where else am I going to go? Am I going to start using the Bing search engine? No. Am I going to start posting videos on Dailymotion? No. I actually tried to do that a while back, and they started dinging me on copyrights there too. Which is amazing to me because if you go on YouTube, you can find so much crazy shit on there that you're not supposed to see, but they've really got it out for me. So YouTube, they won't tell me why. They got a problem with me because I actually went down this path with them with the Taylor Swift that I said. I emailed the because when you get so many subscribers, you unlock sort of like different levels of help. Because I had over, I think it was like 50,000 subscribers, I was allowed to email this help team of on some level. And I emailed them and said, hey, what is the deal here? Why am I getting all these things saying that I'm violating community guidelines? And they wouldn't give me specifics. They would just say, oh, these videos here violate the guidelines. I said, okay, what specifically about them? What is it that I'm saying so I can know for the future, like what it is that you don't like? And they would never tell me. I could never get a clear answer. I've got threads and threads of emails. You wouldn't believe it. So, why did they shut me down today? Why Thursday, July 19th, the day it all ended? Well, here's what happened in the last week. And I don't have my, obviously, I log into my YouTube and I don't see the videos that I had uploaded. But the way it went down was last, I don't know, Friday, I recorded the Century of Self Part 1 podcast. Made the video. I hadn't uploaded it yet to YouTube. Then, like on Monday, I think, Ariana Grande released her new God as a Woman video, and then I made a whole thing about that, podcast about that, and video. And I uploaded both the Ariana Grande video and that Century of the Self video on, Wednesday, I think it was, or Tuesday. I uploaded them both pretty much the same day. Now, the fact that they emailed me about the Ariana Grande video makes me suspect it's that one. So, the two big dings that shut me down were Taylor Swift and Ariana Grande. You can't talk about them. They're too powerful. And to add some more fodder to this idea, on Monday or Tuesday, right around the same time all this other stuff was coalescing, I was on Twitter, and Greg Carlwood from Higher Side Chats, Higher Side Chats, I've been on there a few times. He said something about YouTube, I don't remember what, and I got on there to add to the thread because I've been pissed off at YouTube for a long time, And I wrote something to the effect, well, let me read it. Hang on. Okay, here we go. Got it. I don't have the whole, it chopped some off because I took a little screenshot of it. Greg said, the show is about the guests. I don't know what the first sentence was. He says, the show is about the guests, and I don't want to preemptively restrict the reach they can get from a THC appearance if I don't have to. THC is his podcast, The Higher Side Chats. I'll be getting them caught up over the next couple of days, but we'll probably skip YouTube versions of certain shows. And I wrote, I feel your pain, Greg. Fuck YouTube. And I put, this is where I screwed up. I did the @ YouTube, like, because I wanted them to see it, because you know, I'm a real badass kind of guy. I like to be confrontational. I like to bite the hand that feeds. So, and then I also put in parentheses, I'll also be uploading my stuff as well, like a good obedient sheep. Because that's how I felt about it. Like, it sucks that they punished me, and I joked about it in the past. I said I feel like an abused spouse. I keep coming back for more. But the truth of the matter is, like, it's more about the message. So I like to get the message out, and YouTube's got a gigantic audience. Like I said, close to 80,000 subscribers. That's a ton. So maybe it was that. Maybe they've got some kind of way of searching to see when people say bad stuff about them on Twitter or whatever, which would be insane. But maybe, I don't know. All these things happen around the same time. So that's why I say Google and YouTube are petty. Now, another thing, a friend of mine, I'm not going to say his name. I don't want to get him implicated if he doesn't want that. But he suggested that during my Ariana Grande podcast, I made a comment about Sandy Hook. And I don't remember the context in which it came up. But basically, I was trying to say, like, hey, I'm not necessarily the conspiracy guy that's super into these ideas of the crisis actors. Like, could it have happened? Sure. Like, referring to a crisis actor in a fake false flag event. I said, but in general, I believe that it happened because I think it would take way too many people to lie and to cover that up. So just the mere mention of it, my friend tells me, and he would know, he would know, just the mention of it was enough to shut me down. That's another theory. And that makes sense because I always go back to the pizza thing. When those WikiLeaks emails or whatever came out and they were talking about the map with the handkerchief, John Podesta and them, the hell was he talking about? No one even asked. The journalists didn't even ask. They had to cover it because there was a guy with an assault rifle showing up to Comet Ping Pong Pizza or whatever. So they had to discuss it because it was on the news. They had to be like, well, there's this theory about pizza and Satan and these people are crazy. But nobody in the mainstream media said, I mean, I get that it's crazy. It's eccentric. Go ahead. Say, yeah, these theorists are kind of insane people. And they think that these weird emails where they're talking about filling up a hot tub with 20,000 hot dogs and handkerchiefs with maps to the pizza. They think that all this is coded language because you know what the masses would say? They'd say, yeah, that sounds like coded language. What the hell are they talking about? On official emails to each other. So you couldn't talk about it. And I haven't really, like, I haven't dug too deep into it because I think there are very dark recesses of this thing that, I don't know, man. I don't want to go there. It's a bit of a cop-out. I've seen enough of the pizza thing that I'm like, okay, that's super weird. I don't want to touch it. I don't want to poke the bear too hard, like, because I'm trying to live too. You know what I'm saying? Anyway, so maybe the Sandy Hook thing is kind of down that lane, right? But how's Alex Jones keep going? This guy's ranting and raving because it's okay for him to be a public figure because he's kind of nuts. I think it's when you're too rational about it that they want to shut you down. Or maybe it's because I wrote that book and said Google was all trying to take us all to a transhuman hell. Ha! Could have been that. Maybe I did myself in, because what had happened was, here's a little inside baseball. I started the website illuminatiwatcher1.com many years ago. it started gaining an audience, and my traffic went up at a pretty linear rate. It was going up constantly. And I was originally only interested in making articles on my website because I was like, okay, this is working. There's lots of people coming. And next thing you know, the the traffic stops and it starts going downhill at a linear rate. And I'm like, well, this is weird. That was maybe 3 years ago. The traffic stopped coming in. And it turned out that because I wasn't indexing on Google anymore at the top, I used to be like the top pick when you'd search for relevant words. Like if you typed in Taylor Swift Illuminati, I'd be number 1 or maybe 2 on the list. Now you type it in, I don't show up. I'm like page 4. No one's going that far. So that happened, and that was around right after I wrote the book about Google. So then the YouTube thing, the advertising thing happened. Then the Taylor Swift thing happened. Then about 6 months ago, I hired an SEO guy, search engine optimization. I said, hey man, I used to crush it on Google. What happened? Like no one's coming to my website anymore. I mean, I get some traffic, but it ain't nothing. Like I used to get over 500,000 views in a month. Now I'm down to like, I might hit 100,000 views a month. And he did a bunch of stuff. You know, I spent like $500 for this guy to go through and like make it happen. And he fixed a bunch of crap. And at first it looked promising, but again, man, it's just not there. They just don't want me on the front page. I don't know why. I mean, that sounds very, I can't think of a better word than douchebaggy, but it sounds kind of douchey and, overconfident. But like, I don't know what to tell you. Like, this thing used to be dialed in, and they've effectively got me off the Google search results to shut the website down. You know, the website's still going, but you get what I'm saying. So the Google thing died off. Now the YouTube thing is completely dead. All I've got left is the books that I've put on Amazon and my podcast. That's really the main sources for connecting with you. And how long do you think it is? How long until Patreon or iTunes shuts this down? I give it 2 years. Sad, huh? Sad state of affairs. And this is what's messed up is like they're gonna do it and they'll say, well, we're not violating free speech. You're still allowed to say it, but you just can't do it on our things. Like Apple's gonna be like, we've got advertising with these companies and they don't want conspiracy talk affiliated with Apple. And Patreon's gonna do the same thing probably. And they'll say, well, we just can't have your type of people on here. It's just too too controversial. Why don't you do I don't know, do dance challenges or what? I don't know what they want you to do. If you go to the trending page of YouTube, you'll see how fucking dumb everybody is. Everyone's dumb but us, right? Just me and you. And they're going to do that because it doesn't really violate free speech. Like no one's going to arrest me for it. I hope not. Knock on wood. But they can shut it down to make it, because ultimately what they want is you need a consensus of views and opinions out there to create reality. It's all ritual magic, right? You create the reality you want, how you see it. And if they control the message, they control reality. It's like the victors write the history books or whatever. It's the same thing. So tell me that the corporations don't have more power than we give them credit for. They're running the show. I mean, why do they care? Why does I don't know. What's an example here? Well, what do I got around the room here? Bose. We'll say Bose. I got some headphones here that are broken. Some broken Bose. What does Bose care if I'm talking about the Illuminati? But YouTube wants us to believe that. Google wants us to believe that. They want to say, hey, we don't really care what you say, but our clients do, and they don't want you associated with their product. And that's what they're going to do. I talked about this a few weeks ago. I said, we're worried about the Second Amendment. Second Amendment, we should worry about the First. That's what's going to happen. Let me see if I covered everything I wanted to rant about. Yeah, I think I got it all in there. But that's really what's going on right now. Google and YouTube are petty. They don't want my message out there because they want full control over what the masses hear. And if it doesn't fit in the bread box that the corporations want you to believe in, that keeps you on the hamster wheel, then they got to get rid of it. And I'm just happy they're shutting the channels down. Like, let's just leave it at that. You know, we don't need to push it further. I don't want to see because I've had some scares in my time. I've had some things happen to me. I've never talked about it on the air, and I don't know that I'm going to. I might take them all the way to the very end, if you know what I'm saying. But like, I've had some very close calls. So like, this shit's real, folks. I believe it's very real. Anyways, cool story, huh? Cool story, bro. Tell it again. All right. Well, yeah, I think that's basically it. I just want to let you know that YouTube shut me down. I don't know why. They won't tell me. They just say I'm violating their guidelines because people are snowflakes now and they can't handle hearing anything. But it's funny to me because there's a million other people talking about similar stuff. Look at TMZ. They just crank filth out. There's no problem with them, is there? And I try to be somewhat respectable when I talk about these subjects. But yeah, the YouTube channel is no longer there. I don't know. Maybe it'll change. Maybe they'll let me back on. If they do, I'll tell you about it. But for now, it's gone. I'm not sure what else to do. I've had people hit me up, giving me some options. I don't know what to do with it. Good news is I got copies of every video I ever made. That's the good news. So I could upload these babies somewhere else. People tell me to go to Twitch, but I don't know. Why don't you tell me what you think? I want to hit me up on the socials and tell me which one you think makes the most sense. Because like I haven't taken the time to research this thing. There's like Twitch and there's Steam and there's all these other things, and I don't know what's the most popular because I'm not trying to be on like a million different things because like I've already got the tentacles on this operation are already pretty far out. So hit me up on the socials. Let me know which one you think is a good fit, and I'll if I see like overwhelming responses like, hey, you know, if everyone tells me like, oh, Twitch for sure, man, whatever, then that'll guide me towards that. So hit me up, Twitter at IlluminatiEyes, Instagram at Isaac Weishaupt, Facebook, Illuminati Watcher, or Isaac Weishaupt, the person. And I think that'll do it. Or Patreon. If you're on the Patreon team, patreon.com/IlluminatiWatcher might be the only way we can stay in touch. Hit me up. Tell me where the best place to go. I'm sorry this happened. It's not you, it's me. Yeah, I don't know. Tell YouTube they suck. Actually, don't. They'll probably shut you down too. Definitely don't say fuck at YouTube on Twitter. that didn't work out well for me. And don't write books saying that Google's steering us all into a transhuman hell. They don't like that either. All right. Well, I appreciate that you guys are hanging in there, hanging tight. So until the next episode, which should be part 2 of the Century of the Self thing. Till that time, be your best for those who deserve your best.
Alright, so that was that from illuminatiwatcher1, or calls himself Isaac Weishaupt. And you can go ahead and also you could tell that he's no longer around. Although you can see Isaac Weishaupt, you see Illuminati Watcher live stream, Illuminati Watcher1. You can tell you won't see any of the videos, so there you go. That's why I like doing it live and showing people right on the website, on browsers. I'm sorry, or YouTube. He said don't tweet to YouTube saying fuck YouTube. Well, I did, at least the YouTube team. So we'll see what happens. Doesn't matter. I'll probably move around. DLive is still around. I think they're getting quite better. YouTube's gonna have to watch it. DLive's gonna get a lot of money from a lot of different people, from content creators. Look, you have couple 100,000 million or 2 people on a platform where people are watching and more content creators go there and more people watch, people who want advertising, they're gonna go there. They're gonna give some money. They're gonna get some money, and it will be controlled by Google. Isn't that interesting? Eventually, they may buy it out. Who knows? May take control of it. I mean, all they really have to do is buy out the developers, you know? Okay, and who knows if they have done that or not. Right now, we don't. No, we don't seem to notice, so it's okay right now. Although, never mind. Okay, that was a short one. It's an hour long. Nobody comes in as usual. I might as well just hide participant video. That's okay. I'm in this little corner. You don't need to see a whole big picture of myself. Let's go ahead and I kind of want to end it there. I've been tired today. I was tired yesterday. I've been tired for a long time now. I think there's some work that I want to do, a couple of scripts I want to make, and there's going to be a live stream tomorrow about the movement. Let's see, how many people did they say were on the Unity4J Discord working together? 2,380 at the beginning of this video, which was an hour and 7 minutes ago. Let's see if there's been any more. Hey, 5 people joined within an hour. That's pretty good. Anyways, I just like showing that. Alright, so that's it. I guess there's no dialogue. And I will just go ahead and leave it at that. I may come on again later tonight if I feel bored or I listen to something interesting, just to share this whole YouTube purge thing. The thing is, a lot of people aren't that tech savvy, don't really look around. I would say the next best thing outside of that, if you're just uploading videos, go to Vimeo. They're pretty good. They don't take down their videos. Of course, it's a paid service, but heck, if you got Patreon supporters, they're gonna help pay for you. I don't even have that, except for very few, and I'm thankful, very thankful. And let's see, yeah, okay, that's YouTube.
The limits of debate in this country are established before the debate even begins, and everyone else is marginalized or made to see either to be communist or some sort of disloyal person, a kook, there's a word, and now it's conspiracy. See, they've made that something that should not be even entertained for a minute, that powerful people might get together and have a plan. Doesn't happen. You're a kook. You're a conspiracy buff.